so that the performance is really current, reliable, and fair to the students. A desktop methodology was used to review these models. Academics which are being used in the country. And the aim of our paper to review models that way and are still being used by the countries and estimate that can be used. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. You may proceed. Now you are muted.
This one was the blended learning model we looked at, which is also known as the high learning model. This consists of different teaching methods used together to deliver the required knowledge to the student in an effective way. Am I okay?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Combination. Thanks. The combination of traditional classroom education and the computer-based or online learning is the one used in this hybrid learning. An example of blended learning is a self-based web training based training followed by an on-job training and the classroom instruction. The on-job training is actually done in the industry where one can go to the industry and do the practicals there. And the second one is the face-to-face or the classroom model, which we are all familiar with. The traditional classroom education is the main method of knowledge delivery that we all know, and the technology is only used as a supplement to increase success in educational outcomes. But actually, the lecture is the basis and the mostly used one. It is used by those institutions where students with different knowledge levels as well as learning preferences. And then we also looked at rotational model type of learning. This model is similar to the learning station model where the student can learn from a teacher and take part in an online session. And these sessions are scheduled, rotated. Students receive guidance from a classroom teacher and are also able to set their own learning time. We also looked at the flexi model. And in this model, teachers are facilitators and they provide on-demand support to needy students. Students to meet in a classroom, but assignments are done and posted online to the facilitator. Students
Now we can't hear you.
and the online lab school model. This is when students can go to the institutional lab and use the lab as learning model. Everything is wholly done at the institutional lab. In this model, the institution technicians will will help the students with the experiments and are in charge of the lab activities. This also model technology is not restricted to computers only, but other technologies like the printers and others. And also in this model, the students are very flexible to do other things at their own time. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
In virtual laboratories.
Now you are muted. If you can unmute yourself.
This is an online model, remote and virtual laboratories. I hope you can hear me. This is
Yes,
an
we can
online,
hear you.
okay, this is an online model where practicals are done through simulation software. The simulation software runs on a host machine, and this host machine is connected to other computers as well. It is important to set up simulations with real world situations for the students to gain real skills required. And then we also look at some 3 case studies that we look where hybrid learning was done, and to find out the results and see how it is. First of all, we looked at a case study in the construction engineering. And at this construction engineering, it proved that it is flexible to both student and the lecturer, and the student also gained the experience that they needed because they did their practicals using the industries that were around. And this also is the same other construction scheduling course module that was done in a university in West Windies. And this also the results were the same, and they are recommending that blended learning can produce not half-baked engineers, but fully rounded engineers with the experience and hands-on practicals that are needed. And also currently ourselves, we are doing our own case at our own university here in Zimbabwe at Midland State, and the case study is still ongoing. We do not have results as of now, but I'm sure we are going to get the results and compare it is the way to go. And as in our conclusion, from the papers reviewed and case studies considered, the blended or hybrid online learning is the best fit for the engineering division. This model allows real-time learning with instant feedback from the peers and the instructor. The practicals are to be done in related industries to avoid high costs of setting up labs. It proved to have produced better results than other models like virtual labs, remote learning in the case studies that we consider. Despite having its own challenges, the blended learning is recommended for the engineering faculties in Zimbabwe, as we have alluded to. And it gives both the lecturer and student flexibility of learning more, practicing more, as well as doing any other things that they may want to do. I thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation, which was insightful on competence-based curriculum models in engineering education that you did in the era of transformative age. At this point in time, I would like to welcome some questions around the presentation that was just done now. So that we help the author to strengthen their study that they did. From my side, I wanted to know why you just chose to do a desktop research. Well, why didn't you collect empirical data to really see these models that you are talking about, whether they really work and give students the desired competencies that we would expect in an engineer. Why didn't you go that route?
All right, thank you very much. We decided to do, because of this lockdown, we faced some challenges to do that, and we decided to do our own case study at our own university, and still in the process. We don't have results as of now, but thank you very much. It's another option that we did not really consider to do, but I'm sure that will give us better results as well. Thank you for that.
Because I think it will be very important for us to know that which of these models perhaps works better with engineering students, and what kind of competencies does each one of them gives them, and we get it from there. I don't know from the floor if there are issues or questions that we can direct to the presenter. You are more than welcome to come through with your suggestions, so that she can also improve the quality of the paper. Anyone, Oyetero, Mutonki, Maxwell, June, Gerald, if you can make a few comments around the paper, I think it will be very helpful. Any comments, June? Max, do you have comments?
Sorry, Doctor, no comment as yet.
Okay. June, any comments? Okay. Maybe while the people are still thinking about that, I think for me that was my major comment, and it will help us to make these kind of conclusions. That because if you make a conclusion around that, it's going to produce better results. I think without really collecting data in empirical format, it might be difficult to really prove that. But if you collect much more primary data, but I'm happy since you have said you are doing that at the moment, so it's going to improve the quality of the paper. Let me see what was posted. June is saying it's fine. Okay, so I think that was it. I don't know if there are any other issues. We are sorry that maybe power challenges, I think, which was the most thing which was presented lastly here by Juliana, that it's one of the things that affects virtual classes and virtual meetings and all those kind of stuff. But we are happy to have listened to your presentation. I hope this comment that I have made, you're gonna try to use it. I was hoping maybe a few more colleagues online would make some comments. Perhaps maybe we are not engineers, so we don't understand what you're talking about. Oyetero, do you have comments? I think he's muted. You wanted to say something?
Yes, thank you very much for your comments. I'm sure we are going to consider that and produce a better paper. And you said because you are not engineers and you cannot say much. No, that's not it. You can say, you can comment, and I really needed those comments so that we can improve practicals. How can we do the practicals? Because we really faced a challenge when COVID pandemic hits us. So what were we going to do? What are we going to do with the practical component? Yes, the other components we can do online, but this one was really a challenge, and we really need something tangible that can produce results as before.
Yeah, because for me, what I think is you just need to put the competencies that an engineer should have, and then try to measure those competencies using each of the models you have, to say if these are a set of competencies that an engineer should have. Then when you do some experiment, I think an experimental design could be working in your case, so that you do some experiments in each of the models and see which of the competencies are actually enhanced. And you might also need to look at, if you are to go virtual, what is the readiness, what are the attitudes of your students, the attitudes of universities, university management around virtual learning and competence acquisition. I think it becomes very important. So in my view, I would think you need to develop the set of competencies, then you try to experiment those competencies with each of those models. And at the end of the day, you're going to find out in a crisis which kind of model really works for which kind of engineering students. That could be my thinking around that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, so thank you very much, Oyotero, Gerald, June, Maxwell, Chipo, for remaining online and having to listen to Jennifer's presentation. I streamlined your presentation, so I'm going to send it separately because it was not part of the bigger chunk. It's also online, so I'll send it to you and share it with other colleagues as well, who did perhaps not have chance to listen to it. Perhaps they will make comments, and once I get those comments, I'll be able to forward them to you.
Thank you very much for your patience, and thank you to everyone for holding on to me and these challenges of virtual learning and virtual meetings. Thank you so much.
All right, you are welcome. So it's bye-bye, everybody. June says it was educative, although the network was buffering. Thank you, Jennifer. That's a comment coming from June. So thank you, everyone. So you will hear from us with further issues concerning the book we are writing, we are editing, and further engagements we are likely to make in terms of conferencing in the next year. So it's bye-bye for now until we see each other again, maybe in person or again online. So it's bye, everybody. See you.